you're looking at these big companies, most of them started small from the garage. Most people just want to come in the suit and in the office and a fancy setup. That's the problem. Get your fingernails dirty and start with what you have.
Number 1 Business and Self-Development Podcast. Connected Minds Podcast.
So you created a real estate company in Ghana.
Absolutely.
And specifically constructions company, right?
Right.
In a time where the world was just going crazy, we didn't know what was happening. People thought we were all going to die. The world was going to come to an end. 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you make such a decision at that time when places were locked down?
Right. During COVID, I was in America. So I think 2019 is when I decided to move to Ghana. But as you all know, you have to prepare before you come here because it's not easy. So I wanted to build a house, right? I bought a land in 2016. So 2019 is when I decided to build a house. It took a year and a half to build it. So I came to Ghana in 2021. That's when I moved. But the company was registered in 2020. Now, the reason why we created a company, which is Akkadian Limited, is to solve the issue of people sending money back home for somebody to build for them. Most of the time, they send the money to relatives to build for them because that's the only people they know. And I call it financial stress. Not that they are bad people. Most people have never seen that amount of money before. And they've had, when we all grown up, we have what we want to buy and stuff like that. And you send that money to their account, they don't know what to do with it. And they will spend your money, right? And it was a constant problem that people will be complaining and crying about. Working hard. You can't come here every 6 months and build and go back, right? Unless you are coming to stay here. Most people are working a 9 to 5. They can leave for a long period of time. So we set out to kind of solve that issue by giving people insurances and actually delivering, taking money and using it for what it's supposed to be. Now, so it was created in 2020 while COVID was ongoing. So I was locked down just like, everybody else.
Right, okay.
But, I was locked down and I was building the house still. Was trading in the stock market during COVID. So COVID was actually good for me. Sorry to the people, who struggled with that. During that time was really good in the market for people who are in the market. So that helped me a lot, made me move faster. My plan was 5 years, but shout out to the market. It was cut down to a year and a half. I made my way to Ghana. So yeah, when I came here, usually we used to get business to my father or people who've seen my house. And then because my business partners who built my house as well. And it was kind of like a model, right? Like this is what we can do. And I went through the process, though I'm part of the company. We went through the process just to have proof. Like we have insurances for your building, first of all, and we insure the money that you give to us. The first 30% that you send to us, because most construction is you pay 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. And then we retain like a portion of the money, usually about 5% to 10%, depending on the cost of the building, as for defects. Because as we all know, building is never perfect when you are done. You come in, you flush, there's a little leakage here, whatever might happen. It rained. You have to call us in to come and fix it. If we don't, you use that money to fix it. So we have to solve it. We have 6 months defense period. And once all of that is done, we request for the final payment. So we finished building your house, but you owe us. You hold on to some of the money to make sure everything is fine before we take at the end. And the process was so good. I'm like, this is going to be a banger. So we're going to use this in Ghana because me personally, I've never heard of it before. I came here. I'm sure it exists, but I didn't have access to it. So I came here. My father's friends were using us and people who know me, but it was slow. And then, I wanted to do something totally different as well. So I came in. I have a company called La Vie. And basically, I bought a car wash. I'm in court right now. I bought a car wash, an operating car wash, and I was going to build a mini mall on it. So I did the design, got a permit and everything. I renovated the car wash, and I ended up in court. And that was the main thing I was doing in Ghana. Like, I have a gym in there. I'm a big gym guy. I have a gym in there. I have a rooftop. I have a restaurant. My wife has a salon in there, barbershop, kind of like a lifestyle thing. Everything all inclusive. Was even trying to do forex in there. A lot of stuff, a lot of shops. So somebody was frustrating me, trying to get money from me. I got a title and all that stuff, but he took me to court to frustrate me. So it's almost 2 years now, but it's almost over. It was never a case to begin with, but he managed to waste 2 years of my time. And I was very bored. So I decided to jump on YouTube, and I don't know what happened. I just jumped on YouTube, wasn't planned, and just, share my story of, moving to Ghana, and then the rest is history. And that led on to getting a lot of clientele from YouTube. And that was never the plan, but I saw it. After the first month, I saw how YouTube can help this business. And now we are building for a lot of people. We sell land as well. I don't want to touch land at all because of the issues with land.
It's usually quite a lot of issues, isn't it?
Yeah, but I figured it out. I haven't sold land to anybody that has like zero. So I started selling land as well by dealing with the royal family in the area that I'm used to, and they introduced me to, because royal families are connected. So I got to the source, not somebody reselling, but the allodial owners of the land, like the people that actually the land trades back to them. So I started going from there, and I sold land to over 50 people. I haven't had any issues at all with nobody, right? And now I'm building a gated community on a 30-acre project that we are working on called Akkadian City. So we are hoping to sell houses maybe starting next month. Right now we are just doing the roads, and we just finished to a point where we have to do a bridge and then enter.
You've only been to Ghana, like been in Ghana for like 3 years, isn't it?
Yes,
right? Like fully.
I've fully been in Ghana for 3 years.
Yeah.
The first 2 years was hell, or maybe the first year and 8 months was hell.
Yeah.
I didn't make a dime. It was all problems on top of problems, losing money. It wasn't a joke. As a matter of fact, I questioned, was it worth it at one point? Like, did I really have to do this? I was doing really well in America, right? I was doing really, really, really well. So I went to school to become an accountant. So I got my undergrad and master's both in accounting. I did my internship with KPMG, and then I worked for them for only 2 months, and I quit because I struck big in the stock market, so I felt like it didn't make sense. So I came to Ghana with a lot of money, right, in my pocket to come in. Initially, I was moving to Ghana because I had this friend who's really wealthy, who was actually opening my eyes. This is the reason why I came to Ghana. Before, Ghana is a place where you come when you're ready to come and die. That was the mindset. If you go back to maybe 2017, all the way back, because my parents took me there in 2007. So between 2007 to 2013, the mindset is Ghana, we come to visit, have fun, 1 month, 2 months. You go back to America, you work, you build some house, and then when you're ready to die, you come here, enjoy your last 10 years, whatever, and then you leave. That was the mindset. But this guy really opened my eyes, like, first of all, to the corporate environment, because I was a hardworking student, trying to get, just straight A's and work for the corporation, right? Like, that's what our parents want. Become a doctor, an accountant, respectable. So I became an accountant, flying grades, right? And this guy is kind of from a very wealthy family. We used to work out together. So I met him in the gym, and he liked how disciplined I was. I was in the military, by the way. I was in the U.S. Navy. I'm from 18 to 22. So I've been working out since I joined the military, like 5 to 6 days a week for the past 13 years or so now, right? So he liked how I work out, how disciplined I was. He couldn't make it consistently, like 3 days, and he'll get lazy. So I took him under my belt, and we were working out together, and I got him in great shape. But he was sharing stuff that I didn't know. He's from a really wealthy family. Just to give you a concept of that, he sold his family, his business for $25 million and moved to Switzerland at the time that I was moving to Ghana. So he would say stuff like, oh, these corporations don't care about you. Like, you could do so much better. Like, it's just a little jamming here and there. Yeah. It was totally different from, like...
what you know.
Yeah. It was just totally different. So at first, I'm like, to me, it was kind of like, okay, I'm working so hard in school. I'm trying to do this, but this guy is saying something that was like, oh, these are a bunch of, a-holes. Like, they don't care about you. Like, he never say anything good about big corporations. And I'm like, okay, this is a bit weird. I didn't take it in right away. But then where he got me was, he started sending me articles of African countries doing really well when they measure by GDP, because he reads a lot. Oh, reading is another thing. I used to do all my schoolwork, but I never used to read on my own. Like, buy a book and read? Never. So he started suggesting books and stuff to me, like, hey, you should read this book. So that I read like 4 books, and that's it. That year I read like 70 books. I got hooked, and ever since I became a reader. So he really helped me out a lot, I think so. He was kind of like a mentor. He was a bit older. At the time I was working out with him, I was like maybe 24. He was like 38.
So, that's the power of association, right?
Absolutely.
You spend time with someone at the gym. And what you've known for all these years, very quickly you try to change that mindset.
Absolutely.
And look at you now.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
I would have been busy,
Yeah.
probably
In
like
corporate.
4 years. Yeah, 4 year in corporate, paying 50% of my earned income and all that
taxes,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't get to write anything off and all that, right? Though I was an accountant, it's basic knowledge, but our programming, right, is like we are so scared to.
Yeah, you're programmed to work,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, these are things that Kiyosaki usually say in his books.
Yeah.
That, we train people to go to school to come and get a job.
Absolutely.
But that shift, that mental shift from not being a government worker to championing your life, it can happen like that if you pay attention.
Absolutely. And once you go there, it's hard to go back.
Really hard.
You can go. You can go back.
Yeah.
If you go back, it's for temporary to get something, and you go back to where you become unemployable. That's what I call myself.
Yes.
Once you taste that freedom, you become unemployable.
Overqualified.
Let's put it that way. So So he said this gym thing. He said, "What do I want to do?" Like he asked me that question. Oh, that's another thing. I never thought like, okay, and my whole life I've been doing really well. Like I care about my credit score, paying everything on time, getting good grades, like your average hardworking middle class. And there's nothing wrong with that. But he was trying to put me into the rich mindset. And that was like, they know exactly what they want. Exactly what they want. And, it's like, you would think one day I want to buy a house, take a mortgage, the easy route. But he was really challenging me with a question like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to build a gym in Ghana one day. That's what I said. He said, so I'll work for maybe 10 years, blah. He said, no, you don't have to. You can do it now. You can raise money, So he would say stuff like this. So I said, okay, I will try it. He said, he'll help me raise money. I said, okay, but I'm not going to, I'm married. I'm not going to come to Ghana and rent and take this huge risk with no money and hoping that people give me money to build a gym. It's too risky for me and my wife. So I'm going to do it my way. I hear you. But, I'm going to build a house before I come in. I was able to, set up some residual income. That's enough to feed me and my family once I have a house. Like, I will be fine. Everything can fail and I'll be fine. And that's why I'm still here. If it wasn't for that, I would have been gone because of this core situation that put a hold to everything I was trying to do in Ghana, right? So I came here my own way. Well, by the time I came, I never thought this would happen. I had my own money to do everything. I didn't need a dime from anybody when I came. So I came in here, I bought land by the roadside, spent a lot of money on a car wash, renovated it, and I'm building the minimal around it because just like, your situation, you don't want to take a risk and go for bare land. I wanted something that there's something on there.
Right.
Yeah, because it's quite expensive and I don't want to take the risk. So I went with something, somebody's opening a business on there. Somebody saw the opportunity of a young guy coming from America. He thought he can start and all that. So I ended up fighting him and I ended up in court because he wanted to delay the work. But we are almost through. It's been 2 years now. So that was hell. So that was my first 2 years. It was hell. I bought the land. I think 2 years in Ghana, I bought the land. And then this guy was stressing me out back and forth for about 3 months. And I never budged. And then finally he went to court and put an injunction on it, hoping that I would come and see him. That's what he kept saying. But I went to see him, but he was being unreasonable. He wanted me to buy the land again from him. He didn't have the right documentation. I got the title. So I'm like, let's do this. And I sat through it in the court. And it's over. Literally, just waiting for a judgment. And there is no way I can lose. He doesn't have a case. So God being so good, YouTube actually helped my business. I think I'm actually grateful for that guy.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful for that guy because he educated me tremendously on the real estate space and land, how land works, what's a lojo owner, all of that, like composite plan, all of it. Like I came out of that with my PhD in land, right? And I have used that knowledge to help a lot of people. Like I said, I've sold land to more than 50 people, no issues, because of this. And now I have the right connections because you need that in Ghana. I know who to call because I know we are the rightful owners. If somebody coming to act up, we will solve that immediately. We have people at the, at the headquarters, police station, all us. You need that. Or these people will come and just cause issues in Ghana, right? So that was absolutely needed, honestly, because I was going to have just the minimum. Now I have a big real estate company, which was already there, but I don't think it would be this big if I had it easy with the minimum. I personally believe that. So,
there's there is a type of person that you have to be able to climb the entrepreneurship ladder. Now, these days, people are using the word loosely, right? But you have to be a certain type of person.
Absolutely. If you are not strong, you'll fold. Most people will fold under the pressure. It wasn't a joke. You'll fold under the pressure. I've been chased. I have been chased, threatened, all that, right? But you have to have that mental fortitude and just believe. You have to believe in whatever you see in your mind that is going to work, right? Like, we wanted to develop this, me and my business partner, we were talking about doing acres of, gated community. That's a lot of money, right? You need like $1 million just for the land. And now you got to do the road and all that. How are we going to do that, right? To just to start like that, right? It's going to take time, but we were ready to do it. But just knowing that we wanted to do it, we worded it into existence. It happened so quickly, right? And we didn't even have to pay the money up front. You get it? So, yeah, you do have to just push. You don't have to stop. The problem can keep pushing. And that's what it takes in Ghana, because you will face the problems. You will face it.
And not even just Ghana, right? Whatever part of the world that you are trying to do business, it's almost as if as soon as you start, somebody else is threatened that you've started.
Absolutely.
And they want to come after you.
Yeah.
Right? They want to take something away from you.
Yeah.
And you've got to be ready for that fight. But it's even worse in Ghana or any part of Africa.
Yeah. I think it's much harder here. In the States and UK, sometimes it's, somebody has registered the brand before you. They got the what they call it,
the trademark.
The trademark. They got the trademark, and you didn't know you used it. I've heard a story like that. Once you get big, they're coming for the check, right? Or they try to shut you down. That happens a lot. Or the government is coming after you. Yeah. But here, these are big organizations. It takes time. Like here, it's a bit different because it's like individuals just coming after you.
Anybody can come after you.
Yeah. It's the moment you start. It's like
anyone can come after you.
It's crazy.
Because I remember, the whole trademark issue. There was a company that I had, and we were running pretty well. We had letters from the other competitors, lawyers here and there, and we had to fight our way through. So it happens. Is
that a common thing in UK? Because I've heard a lot of that in UK. People come in for somebody using their trademark.
Yeah, it does happen. And it happened to the small boys a lot. It's just unfortunately. Sometimes it's just content. It's the people you entrust to build the site. Then they copy something from somebody else's website. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just so many things that happen. And we had to fight. We spent quite a bit of money to, fight cases in court and stuff. But hey,
it's part of the game.
It's part of the game. You've got to be prepared for it.
Absolutely.
In the midst of the chaos, you still got to be able to move.
Absolutely.
Now, it's interesting, right, that you've got a company in Ghana that are building properties for people in the diaspora. Right. It's amazing.
Thank you.
But why should they trust you?
Well, first of all, you're going to trust because of, we do have people that come on my channel to testimony, like showing their property that, I bought this from Rush and all that. So the trust is there. But at the same time, as I said, we give you insurances. So before you send money to us, well, so let's say you come to us, you have your land already, right? You don't have to have your land, but you have your land already. Usually that's what we ask you. I want to build a house. Do you have a land? Yes, I have land. Okay, cool. Do you know what kind of house you want? Maybe you don't know. Fine. 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. We had that conversation. Then we go to your design phase. After the design phase, and the design phase goes like this. We bill you for the design phase. You pay 1/3 of it up front, and then we come up with a concept. What you say you wanted. You wanted a gym, you wanted a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, whatever you say you wanted. This kind of house. We're going to present it to you in a 3D form, and you're going to, with a floor plan, and you're going to say, okay, change this, change all. It's gorgeous. I have nothing to change. Okay, now you pay 1/3. It's time for you to pay additional 1/3, making 2/3, so we can move into the detailed design drawings. Once we finish with the detailed drawings and we print it out, then you pay your final 1/3. So that one, you are really not taking any risk. We give receipts immediately. So that one, there is no insurances there. We also have an office. So people come to our office. It's Ghana. People come to our office. Though it's online, they will send somebody to come to the office to see where we are. Not a problem. It doesn't happen often, but it happens. Especially when we are selling land. That happens more often when we are selling land. I don't think so much with design. Once we finish with the design, you can take the design, go find your own contractor to build it. No problem, right? Some people want us to go ahead and use our network to get you a permit, because permit can take some people a year or two, not with us, because this is what we do. So we know people in the respective places to get a permit within 2 months, less than 2 months, get a permit for you, and there we go. So we do the permit for you, and now it's time to build. We're going to do something called BOQ, where bill of quantities, where we're going to calculate how much your building is going to cost, including the professional fees, materials, all that stuff. That's one option. Another option is you can buy your own materials, bring your own workers, and you just bring us in for supervision. There are people who are already doing the project before they found us, but sending money so they just send money to us, but they have their own workers and stuff. And maybe they might want us to give this person that. People use us for that. That one, there's no insurance, but because of the choice, they do that. And we don't have a problem. We are just here to help people out. Other people have just bought all the materials, and we just come in with our own laborers. We charge for just the work, laborers for supervision. And some people go full force. That's most people in the diaspora. They will just send the money to us. That's when it's insured. So this is how it works. Depending on how much the building costs, sometimes it's too high. Let's say your building is $800,000. We're not going to tell you to send 1/3. It's going to take you forever for most people. So we're going to be reasonable with you, see what price point we can work with, at least the substructure. And then we're going to give you an insurance. So you get a mobilization payment insurance, because you're giving us the money to mobilize. We're not going to use our money to go build for you and then hoping you pay. It doesn't work that way. So that money is insured. The amount that you are sending in the beginning is insured. And usually the way we go about this is supposed to be more, so that once we finish, so I'll break it down to you. The mobilization payment, let's use a $100,000 house. To make the number simple for me, we don't do public math, but 100,000, I think I would do good with that. So a $100,000 house, you're paying, let's say, you're retaining 10% of it for defects, as I mentioned to you earlier. So now if you divide that into 3, it's $30K, because you're retaining the $10,000 at the end of it, right? You're going to pay after 6 months of the project completion, right? So in this scenario, we're giving you 10% retention for the defects. Okay. Sometimes it could be 5%. It's between 10 and 5, depending. So you are holding on to 10,000. So if you are building your project, we also discuss the years that you want the project done. So if you are building your project in 2 years, you know that you're going to owe, you can have 90,000 and build in 2 years, but you need 10,000 6 months after.
Okay.
You get where I'm coming from? Because of the contract.
Yeah.
So you send in 30,000. That money is insured. We have to send you insurance. We are insuring the mobilization. It's called mobilization payment. That's what we're going to start your work with. You can call the insurance company and say, hey, this guy gave me this insurance that my money is insured to you guys. There is a number on the insurance number and all that stuff. Is it true? Will you guys actually give me the money back if these guys run away with your money? And they will say, yes, absolutely, it's insured. Then the entire building is insured while it's under our care. So if you are doing it for 2 years, the building is insured. So what happened in Turkey, there's an earthquake, anything can happen. You actually get your money back from the insurance company because everything collapsed. And it protects us as well. So theft, we insure against theft as well. If somebody steals something on site like tiles and stuff like that, we can handle it. Because this insurance company works like the more money you come for, the higher it is. So we haven't had a situation where we had to go for the insurance company or they came for us ever. Because there are situations where the boys will steal some paint, tiles, but these are minor stuff that we can
take care of.
We can take care of, and then we move on. Now, you send the 30%, you agreed, you've done your investigation. You are satisfied that if we run away with your money, it's not trust anymore. If we run away with your money, you do what? You call them and you get your money back, right? With your insurance that we send to you. Usually we use Vanguard here. They are pretty good. They have others, but that's what we are with now. And Vanguard Assurance. And then that 30%, let's say your foundation is $10,000. Just to make the numbers simple for public math's sake, right? So your foundation is $10,000. We took $30,000 from you. We're going to agree that per each stage, we're going to refund you because we have to pay you back. It's a loan to us. The mobilization payment is a loan to us for us to start your work. But we are not billing for the work yet. But we're also not using our money to build your house for you. So the $30,000 is with us. We do the foundation is $10,000. Now we're supposed to bill you for $10,000, but we won't. We have an agreement that per each stage, we will deduct $5,000 from the $30,000 you give us. So instead of you paying $10,000 for the foundation, you pay us $5,000, and now you have $25,000 with us. So that's how the money goes into the project. And by the time you pay for us to build, your structure is already there. There's trust being established and all that. That's when you pay as we go. Okay. That is the method that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Now, I'm going to run through this one quickly.
All right.
And this is it, right? You know, there are a lot of young people, especially here in Ghana.
Right.
Someone is probably listening to him and be like, wow, this guy is sharp. I've gone through some of your portfolio and the things you've done.
Okay.
You had pineapple farming.
Yes.
You've car wash.
Yes.
Uber business.
Yes.
Gym. Trading. Look, how does one raise capital to start a business? I've got this question that comes in almost all the time. These young people ask, how do I raise capital? How do I raise capital?
That is the problem. Most people are so focused on raising capital. And I understand the frustration in Ghana, especially because a few friends can come together to raise capital in Ghana if they have, you're coming from the West. It's not easy. Let's put it that way. I think the misconception is people think it's easy to get money from the banks in America to start your business. And it's not true. It is not true unless you have established some sort of viable product that the banks can see that works, right? Unless it's friends and family. That's where most people start from. Or people max out their credit cards. But unfortunately, we don't have that here. So what you can do is to start small. Most people don't want to start small. It's humbling to start small, right? So I'll give you an example of the pineapple farm. You didn't need a lot of money to start a pineapple farm. It was 2 acres. I was working with a farmer. I'm not a farmer. I'm an investor. So the 2 acres, we didn't buy it. We rented the 2 acres, a farmland. It's cheap, right? And you can even go and beg somebody for it if you don't have the money. I'm just using this farmland for example. Now what you need is the suckers. The suckers, you can ask your friends, as you did at one point. I think I heard some story like that. Your friends came together. So it's a way of doing that, or having your own money, which is not easy for most people. But you can start small. You could start from one plot. Because the pineapple, when you harvest, it multiplies by 3 or 4. So you can start small. So that 2 acres, after that I bought 15 acres. So that 2 acres, I'm like, okay, I was testing the land, I was testing the market, so I didn't buy the land. If it was terrible, that was it, I was gone, right? I lose like 2K and I'm gone. I just take my L and I go. But when I finished, it was good. So I'm like, okay, let's buy 15 acres. I'm going to build value with the land and I'm going to go big. Now I don't have to buy suckers. They call it suckers, the pineapple suckers. That can fill up the 15 because I just bought 2 and it multiply already. So I was going to go to 6. Then from the 6 to 15, I was going to buy more land. And then that's how you got to start. You're looking at these big companies. Most of them started small from the garage. So most people just want to come in the suit and in the office and the fancy setup. That's the problem. Get your fingernails dirty and start with what you have. That's the problem. When I started my YouTube channel, you were talking to, not to brag, but I was a millionaire. Okay, everything went south. I lost a lot of money in the stock market when I came to Ghana. When everything was crashing, it was really crashing. During the Russia-Ukraine, when it first started, it was crashing. I was losing money in the market like crazy. Now, I got hundreds of thousands of dollars stuck in this car wash that I bought, not making a dime. It was brutal, right? So when I started YouTube, first of all, I didn't know anything about YouTube. I call it the lean startup. So instead of me sitting down and saying, I need a fancy lighting and I need a cameraman and all that. That's not what I did, because usually it's a good way to go about it if you have it. But if you don't,
just start with what you have.
Just start with what you have. And what did I start with? My wife had a ring light. Not that I was so broke, but I was in the position. I was too hot, man. I was paying lawyers. Nothing's moving. I'm starting YouTube, not really to make money. I just wanted to keep myself busy. I didn't think YouTube money, it's not money. But it helps with the business. This is what I didn't see. It helps with the business I'm doing. So I didn't start YouTube to make money on YouTube. I started YouTube because I was bored. I was bored, man. I was thinking, should I just go back to the States for some time? I'm glad I didn't, because you need to get some stamina in Ghana. You can't be going in and out, right? And I started on my phone. In a ring light, and it's the content, right? People care about quality, but they will forgive you if you're a beginner. And then from there, I'm like, okay, this is good. People are building this. This is another thing. Instead of paying for a website, I didn't. When you talk about the lean startup, not like I couldn't afford to pay for a website.
Just pause 1 second. I just love what you said. People will forgive you when you are starting out.
People will forgive you.
Yeah. It's only a problem if a big corporation cannot afford the fancy microphones, the beautiful lights, the 4K, 6K.
Thank you.
But you are just starting
You're
out.
just starting out. And when I started, I even told people, this is my first video is going to suck. The sound quality sucked. As a matter of fact, this is how, terrible I was. I did not know the resolution of camera. 1080p, 4K, I had no idea. So I took a nice 1080p video. It was fine. When I was editing everything, it was fine. When I exported it, my first video was 480p. And I had no idea. Now, I posted the video. I'm watching the video. I'm like, the video quality is not the same as when I edited it. What's going on? So I reached out to my friend in New York. And he was like, you should pay attention to the resolution. I'm like, resolution. Immediately, I went on YouTube to learn about resolution. So it was like that. Then I learned about cameras. I learned about lighting. You could go back. I started the YouTube channel about a year and a half ago. Yeah, almost a year and a half ago now. You can go back and you will see that I have progressively, gotten better with the lighting. Yes. So people will forgive you. Just grow with the audience. As your audience grow, respect them and buy the equipment and grow with them. But you don't have to start. Now, you might not even get one view. You don't know. And you are overthinking about raising money and stuff. That's our problem. That's what I think. Just start. Just start with what you have. Just start.
From what I know, and maybe more, you've started more than 5 businesses in Ghana.
Yes.
Now, there is a certain level when a man makes money that they want to diversify very quickly. And there's a reason why that happens.
Right.
Because you're trying to build wealth.
Absolutely, yeah.
At which point do you think it is important for people to begin to diversify?
Well, diversifying, if you have business and then you have people who are working, not everybody, let's establish this. Not everybody can, have the mental fortitude. Everybody can do it, but some people it's not worth it for them. And that's okay. But you do have to diversify. So if you have your 95, you're making 150K, 100K, you gotta, get your feet wet in the stock market. You don't have to trade because that's for professionals, but you can buy index funds where you own a piece of the big company. They do the selection for you. The company, if it's the S&P 500, if, the last 500 company, the last one is not doing well, they're going to get, swiped out with another company. You don't have to do anything. Just put the money in there. And with the power of compounding, you can never lose with that. You buy some stocks, you are diversified automatically with 500 companies. A few of them, I think there's a studies that only 10 companies in the S&P 500 is really moving the S&P 500 forward. And the probability of you predicting this is the stock or that is extremely low. Most professionals actually lose trying to, beat the market. I beat the market by a far stretch, not because I'm smart. I knew what I was doing, but luck had a lot to do with it as well, right? God, I personally think God was saying that I want you in Ghana pretty soon. And just, because the returns I was getting was crazy, but it's too risky for the average person. S&P 500, 10 to 20 years, put some money in there and you become wealthy. It's proven in the past 100 years, you cannot lose. Work, put 5K a year in there, 10K, 20K, the more, the better. Just start early. So the power of compound, if you can start at 25, the better. Put some money in there, 70% stocks, 30% bonds. That's one way of diversifying. You're doing your job, you're swapping some of the money in there. No stress, you have no business. Well, if you have a business, you could get sued for whatever, you could lose all the money in there. So you do have to take money out. And then, the business is an entity in itself. It can fail, but you have other entities. So it's important to diversify. And also, while you have that active business like us building right now, right? I'm currently diving into, you have to use technology. So I'm building something very close to Zillow in America, like listing of properties, right? It's linked to, I've been doing a few brokerages, and it's going to be a bit different because I would do extensive due diligence before it makes it to the website. So when you see something on the website, best believe that it's free from all issues. So it's something I'm working on as well. And the reason why I went with that is because people call me. I get so many calls that Rush, we have big, because of this association that I have with the royal family, they're all connected in a way. We have land that's, Lakeview now, over 1,000 acres. We just got a judgment and we're going to it. We want you to come in and help us sell. And it's just too much. And every time I have to go and shoot a video, it's like me. And it's too much sometimes. So what I'm trying to do is use technology in my favor, where I can actually send a team there to take it. And I've done the work, and I will promote, instead of me promoting on my YouTube channel, like, this land, go buy it, 60,000 every single time in you guys' faces. I'm trying to not to do too much of that and rather promote the website. So whatever I have will be on the website. If you want land, check out this website. That's it. So I'm working on that.
You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. There's one thing that, I lived in Ghana for quite a bit, up until the age of about 15 years.
Okay.
14 and a half, 15 years. And there's one thing that I saw with a lot of businesses, first generation businesses. They never make it past the first generation.
Yeah. It's a thing here. I see that most of the business that did are actually foreign owned, sadly. Malcolm.
Yeah.
And they got big because of the power of compound. You need a long runway, man. You can become really big, right? And for us, just that, the family, unfortunately, we have a lot of family issues. So when the founder is not active anymore, they're not involved, siblings start to fight. Or this also happens in the West, but Ghana is sweet with parties and stuff like that. You become they're not focused, and it just goes down, right? And we don't reinvest when the money comes in. Most Africans, unfortunately, like to cash out and go live their extravagant life. And personally, that's what I've noticed. They don't, one person in Ghana I really admire and respect is the Casa Perko guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what he has built, there is no way it's not going to be, generational.
Yeah.
And he's done it right. He also, founded subsidiaries and dive into real estate now.
Yep.
So it's going to be around for a long time. So he did it right. Yeah, so you have to diversify, right? And you have to he came out of the business while he was still alive.
Yes.
Like he walked away.
Yes.
But our egos are too big in Africa, right? So we don't know how to walk away. If you notice, Jeff Bezos walked away, right? To put somebody there while you are still active to make sure they are doing the right thing. Don't wait till you are weak. Your sharpness is not there anymore. But that's the situation here. You should if you want to put your son in charge, put your son in charge while you're alive. You can fire him and come in. And we don't do that. You wait till you pass away and say, oh, my father owned this and now he's gone. We're going to take over. Who to take over is even a problem.
Yes. Because you've groomed no one. For the youth listening to this podcast, maybe this is what they can pick from this. That they need to understand that, that building a business or becoming a person of influence, it's a lifetime thing. And you can't just say today I've got $1 million and I'm gonna chill with all that money, the girls, the alcohol, the drugs. It's gonna go away. Even if you have £2 million in a bank account, it will go away. And it's not growing, and you're being stupid about that money, it's gonna go.
5 years is not even enough. I think it'll be going. 2 million is not a lot of money.
It's not.
You think it's a lot of money, but it's not.
It's not.
Once you touch money, you see that it's not a lot of money at all. It can fly by like that. Yeah.
So while you're thinking of, I want to start a business, I want to get on the ladder as well, I want to do this, be mindful of your habits.
Absolutely. Yeah. Be mindful of your habits. Me personally, I'm not telling people to get married, but if you have one person that you are focused on, it helps with your focus. Me personally, as somebody we've all been single at one point in life, I've seen the difference. Not thinking about who, you are chatting. It's even taking time from you. You are chatting this girl, over and over again, try to win her over. It's wasting your time.
And it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, you got to impress her. Yeah. You are buying a lot of clothes that you don't need because you're going every day, you have to impress people. You're popping bottles that you're not supposed to pop.
And majority of the girls in Ghana, they'll bail you.
Of course. Of course.
So if you're not prepared for that kind of lifestyle, definitely I think you should stay away from it.
You should absolutely. It's not easy to grow a business and then also being in that lifestyle all at the same time.
Yeah.
To me personally, well, some people can multitask. I can't. I'm a very straight, one-way kind of guy. I mean, this and that's the way I am, and I couldn't add women problem.
Yeah. I mean,
and all
just
that
to
to it.
buttress what you said, I got married pretty early in my life.
You are
And
quite successful. Do you think that has something to do with it?
major, huge. I mean, we got our first property before we even got married.
Awesome.
Yeah, before we even got married.
Awesome.
And 70 to 80% of that money was contributed by my wife.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, before we even got married. So for me, I say to people, if you can find that woman who sees your dream, understands your dream, and you can drive that dream, it can work.
Absolutely.
It can certainly work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing I'm grateful for. That I've been with my wife for 10 years now. I was 20, she was 17. I am not Tiger. But we've been together for quite a long time. Been married since right before COVID, right? So time flies.
Amazing.
5 years now. But yeah, it has helped out tremendously. I've seen a huge difference from when I was single in the Navy to when I settled down. I've definitely seen it. I'm super grateful. I don't regret anything. I'm very happy that is the situation because now, honestly, I think it would have made my life a bit difficult because Ghana
It's a different ballgame. But you've also realized that a lot of wealthy people start off in a good relationship. At least they start off. A lot of wealthy people, they start off in a very good relationship.
Absolutely.
So there's a proof, there's a track record that finding that person and building with them works.
Yeah, absolutely.
It works.
Absolutely.
Now let's go back to the major issues with developing properties for people. What's the major issues?
Oh, so some people don't understand the process, right? Some people don't understand the process. They put too much demand on the contractor, and everything is a contractor's fault, right? Everything is a contractor's fault. So an example would be, let's say you want a project to be completed in 4 months. The project is too big. We will try to be ambitious and do it, right? And working with artisans, especially, as a matter of fact, I don't think it's Ghana alone. This is universal. I've heard the stories in America before I came. If you are pressuring them, there will be a lot of mistakes. That's easily, rectifiable, right? I taught you about the retention. It's easy stuff that you can, but some people want you to come with the speed. And in construction, it's in the book. You cannot speed up stuff and get a perfect product right away. It's impossible.
Okay.
It's either you take your time to do it, get it right. The guy that you came to inspect, fix this, fix that, complete done. Do this, do that, completely done. Or you move through it and there's a lot of mistakes to be corrected.
Yeah. You just took me back to when I was building this property. I told the architect, look, I want this done in 6 months. 6 months. Because I'm coming to Ghana with my family and I need a property. And the guy is going, and I came to Ghana and I saw a lot of mistakes. And unfortunately, I had to sack him. Because I didn't understand.
Yeah, most people don't understand. They get extremely frustrated. So what I have done, this is new. I'm very honest. Like, I won't tell you, oh, our project. No, I'm very honest. Like, if you don't understand the process, it's okay. Me personally, no more speed work. Unless it's a very simple project, two units, and you want like 6 months, I can do it. But project 5-bedroom, multiple levels, if it's one level, I can do it. I would say no. It will take 1 year because what I notice is most people don't understand the process. When they see it, they get pissed off. When they see the mistakes, they get pissed off. But it's impossible to move with that speed and at the same time correct at the same time. Yeah. So what they do this is in books. Speed. You can take your time and get it right. Because when they do it, it's Ghanaian workers, man. It's not easy managing these guys. You've been here for a while, I'm sure. So imagine moving with speed and working with these guys and giving them pressure. They'll screw up a lot of stuff. Yeah. And you have to come back and say, they didn't plaster here well. Let's plaster again. Let's repaint it. You have to do a few of those. Or you take your time. So when they do it, you come and check. You didn't do this well. But that's time. Do it again. But we are now moving ahead. We are solving as we go. Right? So that's one thing. Usually it's speed. People want speed and
quality at the same time.
And I have made a conscious decision that You want speed? I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
I'm not slow. I could do a project, like 2 levels, 3 levels for you 1 year. Because usually we give you 6 months defense period to solve everything. So if you're giving us 4 months to build a 3-level house and there's issues, that's 6 months, all of it will be solved. And when we talk about issues, we are not talking about one thing, we never compromise structure. Never. It's just finishes that people rush through this. The war is not too smooth. So we have to maybe skim over. It's nothing big, really petty stuff.
Right.
But it's annoying to see that's the owner. And the thing with me is I understand people. So when I get where they are coming from. I get it, right? Some people just don't get the process.
Yeah.
When you sign a contract about a 6 months defect and all that, still, like when they say that goes out the window, right? So almost everybody I know that built has had issues and got pissed off at the contractor. Not to me, even friends who are like, that built before we became friends. They got pissed off. And I have to explain to them, being in this field, like, and they have tasted it because maybe they came in and worked with a few people coming. Like imagine supervising these guys from the foundation up for 6 months and you getting the pressure to move fast. You telling somebody, a friend of mine from UK, he was here while the finishing was going on. And he told the guy that the fan where it was, he didn't like it to move it here. The guy said, okay, boss. He turned around, he came back the next month. The guy cut the whole ceiling down.
Wow.
Because he didn't understand what he was saying. This is the stuff that your contractor is going through on the ground. So it's absolutely not a joke in construction.
Yeah.
So that's some of the problems. But, we solve it by we're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
But we make people happy on the bright side. Most people are extremely happy. We've had people that have tried to build in Ghana, ball and lose it. And finally they found you and they are just so happy.
Yes.
I've had people who have built a house somewhere, they don't want to go there anymore. The house is just sitting there. Because somebody sold them land somewhere in the forest, they built, they got a generator, they don't go there anymore. And they found me and they are very happy. So you just solve the problems. The problem that I notice is people get pissed off if you rush and there's mistakes and they see it, they don't understand, they get pissed off. So we just want to take our time. That's all.
After more than 5 businesses in Ghana, you've been in corporate, you've been in the Navy. Look, every entrepreneur has a why. What's your why?
What's my why? I love helping people. I truly do love helping people. And my why in Akkadian specifically is the fact that people can work hard and, in the States, UK, wherever, and they can send money to you, whether that's $4,500 for land somewhere that, we cannot afford that. But some people cannot even have the time to come here and buy. Even if they come here, they're not on the ground, they will lose their money. So me knowing that I'm the source of somebody buying their first property makes me extremely happy. So that's my why. I want to make a difference. I see where the country is going. I see the development. And the reason why I chose real estate is because, 20 years from now, I can walk down the street like where we are right now, construct a 3 kilometers road, right? It's going to be we're starting with 100 homes. We're selling 90 plus behind. And then I've sold a couple of lands around. And I will keep going. So 20 years from now, I will walk around and see that Ghana was developed and I contributed.
That's beautiful. That's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And look, you're doing amazing stuff.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll have some conversations because I see the synergy. I see that there's a lot that we can
I appreciate
discuss.
That. Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
When I watch your interview, I was like, okay, you don't see a lot of people like us. So I was really impressed, man. I'm like, okay, this guy did it right. You did it right, man.
Yeah.
So.
And I hit you up straight away because a mutual said, nah, you guys need to meet. You guys need to meet because I think she could create the connection. But yeah, look, we have a question from our previous guest.
Yeah.
And the question is, what's your life script? What is it that has happened to you that has made you who you are today?
Everything happens for a reason, and you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So believe in the process and just move forward.
Cool. Now, from Connected Minds, motivation or discipline?
Motivation or discipline?
Yeah, you can choose one.
Discipline all day. Discipline. Motivation is like, it's it's fleeting, man. You get motivated for an hour and it's gone. Discipline, it's lifetime.
Rush, what's the best advice you've ever received?
Buy land in Ghana because you never know when you're gonna need it. That advice was given to me by my father's friend when I had no intentions of coming back to Ghana. I came to Ghana, I was 18, 19 at the time. He told me to buy land. And I listened. I don't know why. I'm very stubborn. When people tell me stuff, I try to analyze it. But I listened and I bought the land. So when I decided to come to Ghana, I didn't have to go and look for land. That was the best advice, personally. I had the land sitting there already.
See, I didn't. But fantastic, right? See, the path that's ahead of you. If you decide to take that path, you never go wrong. But if you decide to take somebody else's path, that's where the problem starts.
Absolutely. We are all on our own timelines.
Yes.
Time zones.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So just be patient with that.
I'd love to take a question for my next guest.
What is the meaning of life to you?
I think I should have asked you this question. It's actually a very good question.
Pose it to your desk.
Yeah. Next guest. Oh, you're going to have it. And I kind of have an idea who it is. Have you got anything to say to my audience on Connected Minds?
It's a great podcast. I like what you are doing here. I love it. I love the setup. I love how much attention and detail that you've put into this podcast. Is awesome.
Yeah.
The quality is amazing. So if you've not subscribed and this is coming on YouTube,
Yes.
kindly do so. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I like the video, it helps with the algorithm as well.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to, post to your audience. And, whatever you want to do, just know that you can start small. There's only a few people that raise money, Most people start small. One of the biggest companies in Ghana, the Capsa Perko guy, he said he did susu, put money on the side for a while, and then he took it to do it. So you could work hard, whether that's mason work. That's what I say. I'm not going to be a mason forever. But me, if it comes down to it, if that's what I have to do to get that small capital to start what I have to, man, I'm going to do it. So do what you have to do to get that small capital that you need to start whatever you want to do. And start the smallest way possible. You could look at a lot of companies in Ghana here. Hot oven, the lady started from his house. Then he got big from there because his recipe was good. As long as you are good, time is all you need.
Wow. We've just been speaking to Rush Asare. And this is a man of many businesses, and I've learned a lot from him. From just sitting down here with him for about 45 minutes to an hour, it's been awesome. Now, if you've been listening to this conversation, I'm sure you got some value out of it. And we are Connected Minds. So stay connected. Derek Abaiti, I'm out.